Welcome back to another Real Talk video with Nathan Najib. Nathan, how are you?
I'm doing good, George. Good to be back.
Good to be back. Today's video is about the fact that New Zealand is now in a recession again, and what that means for the New Zealand property market. First things first, Nathan, what is a recession?
Recession is derived from the word recede. And we've been talking about this, George, since the peak. We've been telling people this is gonna come, right?
Yeah.
We've been predicting it. So here it is.
Here it is.
For the second time in 18 months. And recession is part of a business cycle. It happens every time when something goes up so high. It followed by a decline, right?
Yeah.
And from experience, what's up is caused by down and down is caused by up. They just drive each other. So for me, let me just briefly explain a few economical terms, if I would, huh?
Sure.
We talk about correction. In the peak, we spoke about the correction we're going to have a correction is up to 10% decline in the real estate market, in the values. Sure. And then you got bear market is a decline, 20% decline, between 10 to 20% decline is a bear market. Then a crash is 35 to 60%, and that lasts for 3 to 6 months.
Sure. And
then what is a recession? A recession is a decline in economy for 6 consecutive months or two quarters. And then the next thing is depression, which a recession that lasts for 2 years and 10% decline in GDP, gross domestic product.
Absolutely. I guess the next question that follows that then is, how does this recession affect the New Zealand property market?
Yeah. We've spoken once again, if you could go back and watch some of our videos that we've spoken in the past, that because the property prices went up so high, we went up by 54%, some areas, and a lot of areas that went well above that, right? I said before that what goes up comes back down. Something goes up too high, too fast, it comes down quite a bit as well, right? We've seen probably, like we talked about, when it was the peak, we see the 10% decline, which happened. We see there's going to be another probably 10 to 15% decline. We probably had another 10, 15% decline. And then I feel like we're probably going to go further down. I don't think we're at the bottom yet, because if you go up 54%, George, let me explain to you what a healthy growth in real estate is. A healthy growth is between 2 to 4%. And the reason behind that is because affordability, buying a home, is not outstripped. If you've got your salary, for example, our salary goes up by 1 to 2%, 1 to 3% most, and the value of the property goes up by 15, 20, 30, 54% in the last 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's just unsustainable. People can't afford to buy homes. I said about this before, that either salaries has to triple or the prices property have to come back by 15, 20%. We already done probably another 5, maybe 10%. I feel like we've still got further to go.
Sure.
So we're not at the bottom yet. I've predicted the bottom in the past videos. And so watch out a video that we did just recently that we talked about, like when will be the bottom.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, subscribe to our channel, because it's your support and encouragement that helps us do these videos, or motivates us to do these videos. Like our channel, subscribe to it, and we will keep on doing this.
So obviously we've seen this decline for the past 6 months. We're at this point now where a recession has been officially announced, if you like, and people are hurting out there. What's your advice for navigating it?
That's a good question, George. Ideally, you want to prepare for recession when the market is good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now you come to this place and now you want to navigate it through here. We haven't had any preparation. My suggestion still would be, just like as it was when I suggested in the peak, that have some funds, put some funds aside. And how do you put some funds aside? Is cut unnecessary expenses, cut the fat.
Yeah.
Like at the moment, it's easy in today's society, just swipe your credit card and then you can pay for it later, right? Like literally pay for it later at 16% interest rate, right? So cut your expenses, save some money, put some aside. And then last one, if you bought yourself a property and you can't hold on to it because the mortgage is so high from 2% to 7%, my suggestion would be, is because we're still going lower, is to trying to cash up, get rid of it before, like, you're just saying like, you just lose. It's good to lose just a little bit than losing your shirt as well with it, right?
Yeah.
So my recommendation, I've seen this in the past. I've seen it in 2008, 2009, when 2006, 2007 was the peak, and then 2008, 2009, 2010, that was the market bottomed out, and people bought properties and they were like underwater.
Yeah.
Meaning that they bought the property for, like, let's say for 1,250,000. Now the property is worth 950,000. Now they were literally in trouble. So I suggest, my recommendation would be, is like, if you can't hold on to the property for a long period of time, for the next 10 years, then get rid of it now so you don't lose your shirt off your back as well.
Yeah.
And this thing here is not going to last. Tomorrow's not going to be all good. It's going to take a little while. It still hasn't bottomed out. It's going to be another 6 to 9 months for it to get to the bottom. And then it will recalibrate. And then it will come back to the healthy growth, which is 2 to 4%.
Right.
So remember, some people tells us, they say, we're going to wait for the price to come back right. Well, the truth is, it's going to go down another 10, 15%. And once it goes down 10, 15%, it doesn't bounce back the next day. It takes time, 12, 24, 36 months for it to come slow
36.
recovery, 2 to 4%.
Yeah.
So those would be my three suggestions. Subscribe to our channel, like, comments below if you have any questions, and this helps us carry on what we're doing. It keeps us motivated.
One more thing before we go, Nathan. We've had a question mailed in from our last video. Hey Nathan, you're not an economist. And how can you say this year will be chaos when the well-known banks and trusted media sites are publishing every day saying that interest rates will drop, plus mortgage brokers are suggesting the same as well? If I'm getting a good house price, then why should I not buy at this low rate?
Interesting question, huh? Trusted media sites, huh? Like, I'm not sure since when we started trusting media. I'm not having a go at them, but it's the truth, right? They've been telling lies for how long? For a long, long time. Anyways, the thing is this, like, an economist, as good as they are, right? It's like getting advice. If I'm getting a surgery done, right? Yeah. I'm going to a surgeon. I'm not going to the professor that teaches medical at the university, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, I'm on the ground. I see everything that's happening. One thing, the economists, they predict from the numbers, but they look at the numbers. There's only one kind of like one show pony, if you will, right? You cannot predict with just looking at a couple of two numbers, like last year's numbers to this year's number, or last month's number to this month's number. You cannot predict that. There's a few other variables, and the media channels, and the mortgage brokers or whomever is giving you advice. You got to find out what's their interest, what's their agenda behind it.
Yeah.
With the media, they want to make sure you can get the clicks, right? So make sure they either freak you out or they give you something to excite you to watch the news, right? And they get paid for that.
Yeah.
They're not bad people. They're just doing their job, right? And their job isn't to tell you the truth. Their job is to make money for the shareholders. And mortgage brokers, I've got some friends of mine mortgage brokers. I'm going to upset some of these guys. But the mortgage brokers, they want to get you to buy properties so they can get paid, because the only way they make money is how? When they get you to buy mortgages, right?
Exactly.
For us, we're not in the business of telling you to do anything but just give you real advice. That's why we call this real talk, or the truth, if you will.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Nathan. I know that you provide some very valuable advice to all the people out there. Do check out our other videos where we've made predictions and we've predicted this economic situation.